All right, thanks. Good evening and welcome to the February 22nd, 2024 Zoning Commission regular meeting at 7 p.m. tonight, held in Town Hall Room 133. Could we all please rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. All right, I have the commission members introduce themselves, starting from my left tonight.
Gwen Arment, alternate.
Gerald Pratt, regular member.
Anthony Papucci, Vice Chairman.
Kurt Timmerman, Chairman.
Sean Turner, Secretary.
Matt Grimes, alternate.
Thank you. And tonight, Gwen Arment will be a voting member. All right, so can we move to the zoning officers report?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 47 High Ridge Road, as I indicated at the last meeting, the Salis residence, the trial date is March 6, 2024. That hasn't changed
Okay.
as of today. 11 Cross Road, the George Landa Iries residence. Still working with him on trying to get the tenant, or not the tenant, but the permits for the 2 carports that he has on the property. There's a language communication problem, just the barrier is kind of hard to deal with them, but we'll get there.
All right.
I'm sure of that. 19 White Pine Drive, the Ribeiro residents, they were bringing in firewood from outside, cutting it all, splitting it all. We went out there today, actually, told them to stop working out there. They said that they were just cutting up the wood that was left on the property, and as of Monday, a machine's gonna be brought in on the property, and then they're gonna start building the house there.
Oh,
So, definitely gonna keep an eye on that one right there.
okay. I noted on the last report that they didn't have a permit. Do they have a permit for a house now?
Not yet, no. There's nothing's been submitted as of
All right.
6 o'clock tonight, so, but I'm gonna keep an eye on that one, so.
All right.
The wood that they were splitting today did appear to be wood that was on site
Yeah.
when they clear cut the lot, maybe about a year or 2 ago. It was all old wood, nothing new was brought in. But when I was there a couple weeks ago, that was all new fresh wood that was brought in.
Oh, yeah, because I drove by yesterday. I just happened to be in the area, and I noticed that trailers, I've been by a couple times, and that trailer's been hanging there.
Right by the edge of the road.
Yeah.
So he told me that they were gonna be done today, is what he indicated to me on
Okay.
the phone, and then I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
definitely.
all right.
Moving over to 4 Heather Lane, the Gomes residence, neighbor, complaint came in from the neighbor. Upon investigating, it appears that the homeowners installed a swimming pool on the property with no building permit or zoning permit. He's got a Lowell machine on the property in the backyard, lift, and also the shed is on the property that doesn't have a permit. So he's got chickens on part of it, but a part of it is a shed. Turns out the neighbor had his property surveyed and 4 feet of the shed is on the neighbor's property. I
Wow.
indicated to him that's a civil issue. I would definitely suggest talking to an attorney.
Yep.
But, for the swimming pool and everything else, I will send a notice, which I did.
Yeah. Is that above ground or?
Above
in
ground,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Was the swimming pool in operation, did it look like previously? Or
Yes,
it was?
yes,
Okay.
yes. I was actually out there last year for a rooster complaint, and there was no swimming pool there at that time, so. Moving over to cease and desist list, 31 Green Knoll Drive, there's pending litigation on that now, so we're not gonna discuss that further. Moving on with that one. 9 Cross Road, the Sweeney residence, the contractor's yard, he indicated to me that he did have a site, for his dumpsters. We were out there today. There was no dumpsters or truck on site,
Oh,
so,
wow.
yep, so I'm gonna remove that from the report, but
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep an eye on that because I'm watching the guy across the
Yeah.
street,
And so are the neighbors.
so. Absolutely. So. 83 Federal Road, that's the mobile station, Epson of Investments. The site's been cleaned up. He's got cones out there now. They're gonna be removing the tanks. They gotta replace the tanks down there and stuff,
Yeah.
so. Deep let them, continue to operate just to get the tanks empty. But, I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that one too,
Okay.
because there's no dumpster there, or
Yeah.
no garbage cans for anything, or
Yeah.
debris.
Generally, he hasn't kept that property up very well
No.
compared to the previous owner.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving over to the citation page. Sure.
Kurt, on 31, with the pending litigation, obviously we can't discuss it, but
Yeah.
I would say that at the March 14th meeting, we have an executive session on the agenda to get an update from the town attorney as to where that stands, maybe.
Yeah, I can reach out to him, see if he's got a schedule.
Okay.
I think.
I know it's been an issue for some time, but now
Yeah.
it's actually getting real, so.
I think it'd be educational, because a few of us haven't been in an executive session.
Absolutely.
And then we do have, commissioners in the past have been concerned about personal liability, so we can get some instruction from the attorney as to, what sort of liability, if any, commission members have.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Moving on to the citation, 89 Muscomere Road, the Gone residents spoke to the previous Old Town attorney, Barbara Schellenberg. She indicated to me that she's filing appeals to the appellate court on the judgment amount. So they're waiting to get that get kicked back, I guess, because when you appeal to the appellate court, there's certain font, certain size, and there's certain ways that I believe appeals have to be submitted, and
Oh.
so far she hasn't submitted one proper one, so,
She submitted an appeal before she even knows what the award is?
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
This has been on every one since I've been here.
Very stringent process, the appellate process.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And then 35 Hidden Brook Drive.
Including the color paper.
Is it? Yeah, I believe it. And on the 35 Hidden Brook Drive, the Torres residence, I haven't heard from the town attorney on that one after I discussed it with him, so
All right.
I don't have an update on that this time. So
All right, thank you. Thank you, Fran.
you're welcome.
All right, review of the previous minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes and review it? And any changes anybody sees, corrections? If not, yeah, I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the February 8th, 2024 minutes.
Thank you. And Tony, and a second?
Second?
Thank you, Sean. And any discussion on the minutes? And all in favor of accepting the minutes from February 8th, 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, so the motion carries unanimously. Thank you. There's no continued public hearings. 6, the public hearing, 271 Federal Road Z-24-1. Due to a notification of a butters issue, they had to be canceled and we have to resubmit. So we're going to, once again, I'll accept a motion to reset the public hearing to March 14th of this year.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The reason I didn't hear the reason.
Oh, they were supposed to send letters to the abutters about what was happening, and somehow that didn't happen.
Huh.
And so the land use office caught that, and it's like, well, we can't have the public hearing open
Okay.
because of that.
I thought that's what all those people out there were for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll accept a motion to reset that public hearing to 3/14.
I'll make a motion to push the public hearing for 271 Federal Road, Z24-1, to March 14th.
All right, thank you. Second? Thank you, Daryl. Any discussion on the motion? Everybody's going to be around 3/14? All in favor of setting the public hearing for 3/14, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, the motion carries unanimously, so it will be March 14th for the public hearing to be opened for Z-24-1. All right, there's no old business, so new business, 500A Federal Road, Z-24-7, site plan modification. So is the applicant like to present?
For the record, my name is Steve Sullivan with CCA LLC. So we're here to applying for some modifications to the previously approved toll gate of Brookfield project. Fran, if you can get to page C1, so towards the beginning. And,
Or do you have a Do you have that carry-around microphone for Steve? It's just, that sometimes doesn't, unless you wanna hold that and talk into it. Because the people at home and even the recording secretary sometimes can't hear it, so that becomes an issue. We do have the carry-around one, but it's not ready yet, so that's fine. Oh, it does.
Trying to get it to load down, Steve.
Test, test, test.
Thanks, Fran. I s-
That's-
I see.
Steve, I can't.
So
I
you
don't-
wanna go to,
Down?
the civil engineering, yeah, that's the other. Yep.
One more?
Actually, one back, yep.
One back.
Still loading up.
It's still loading here.
So, we have about 7 changes we're looking to make. The first one is, we're adding we wanna have a temporary sales trailer, which is located, can't see.
Oh, there it is on the ceiling.
Is it on the-
Oh, I mean,
Not
it's,
anymore.
Right there.
Yeah, right there, there it is.
Yep.
Can you see Fran?
Yeah,
So we wanna add a temporary sales trailer. I can't.
it seems to
not
be
see-
pointing like straight up from,
I can see it right there. Do you see it on the screen? I don't see it.
No.
I'll just watch. Fran, if you go to the next page down. Well, we're also adding 9 more visitor spaces. So we're adding 4 more by the mailbox, which is right towards the front of the project. Then we added a couple more right in the corner of the curve of the road, Fran. You go to the left, keep on going, keep on going.
Oh, down over there?
Yeah, right there.
oh, I
Right there,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then if we go to the next page, we added 3 more at the end of the cul-de-sac. So there's a total, there's 9 more visitor spaces from the previous. Also, we're looking to, we're gonna propose Belgian block curbing instead of extruded concrete curbing for the development. So we're also proposing to eliminate the interior sidewalks along the private road. The applicant's experience with those sidewalks is, you know, the homeowners associations don't like it because of the added maintenance cost. And they don't like, because when you have a lot of driveways in a row, you're up and down, up and down, up and down. If you ever drove through Oak Meadows, there's no interior sidewalks. And it's a low speed road, you can just walk along the road. So we still have the sidewalks along Federal Road from the entire site frontage.
Yeah.
And into the mailbox area from Federal Road, but once you get past that, they would like to eliminate the sidewalks.
Excuse me, where's the mailbox?
Right where that big block is.
Right
That's
here.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Are the extra parking spots a result of eliminating the sidewalk, or they're independent of each
No,
other?
independent.
Okay.
They just wanted more spaces for people to get around. Well, we got 3 spaces there.
Yeah, oh, and what about the ones coming around the corner? So
Just
they
add-
could put them in, so they
Yeah,
put.
they just wanted to add some more spaces.
Can you see the mailboxes from Federal Road?
There'll be a little mailbox hut, right? So, yeah, you could see, it's to the left of that frame.
Over here? Oh, right here.
Yep. Yeah.
And then next to it is the temporary sales.
Yeah,
Trailer.
that's during construction, right, that would be the temporary sales trailer.
What does that look like?
It's just a construction trailer, it's just during construction when they're selling units, people can come in, they could do, they'll have models open, and they could, that's where they're,
And how long would that be there?
just during the construction of the project, so probably a couple of years. Also, we performed some value engineering, and we regraded the site, actually. Prior to this plan here, we had roughly 40,000 yards of excess material to be taken out. So we've raised the site up and balanced it out, so there's no excess material being taken off. So we're eliminating all that truck traffic
Mm-hmm.
onto Federal Road. So that was the biggest change, but limited construction has not changed. All we did was
So the elevation of everything's just higher?
Yeah, and the retaining walls we had proposed before, they're just gonna be higher.
Yeah.
In the package, we did submit a new photometric analysis, changed the lights, they're still dark sky compliant,
Mm-hmm.
and the 3500 Kelvin temperature
Yep.
lights, so they're just a different model. So
Yeah.
we just updated the
Yep.
photometrics.
What's the height of those? I'm just curious.
16.
Okay, that's, because I've seen in some others, and I should have thought about this last time we saw this, they have such tall poles, they look sort of ridiculous, you know, some other commercial.
Poles or the concrete?
No, the
The
poles.
poles.
The poles, you know, they'd be like 25 feet or 30 feet tall.
In Brookfield or?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think where, yeah, so I mean, I think you're allowed.
Not too many, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's,
I think the regs allow for taller poles if you're like in a shopping center.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But the mounting height of the light is 16 feet.
yeah, yeah, that's reasonable.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah,
If I may?
sure.
So, is it uniform, 16 feet across the whole parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just curious, so if you didn't have like certain, different elevations, everything's gonna be pretty level, pretty flat?
No, you're talking about the light poles.
Yeah,
Right, well,
yeah.
well, both, because you're gonna have to level it out, otherwise you're gonna have different, elevations, so I'm just curious how it look. If you got a higher elevation up here, and you got 16-foot pole, and another 16-foot pole down here, and it's.
It's 16 feet from where the pole is located.
Mm-hmm.
That finished grade, it'll be 16 feet from that particular finished grade. So
Okay.
it's a rising site. The
Right.
highest point is at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Gotcha.
So you're driving up from Federal Road up.
Mhm.
Up the hill.
Seeing the-
And then the last item, and I'll preface this by saying, we're looking to continue this meeting.
Mhm.
The last item is about the architecture and the heights of the building.
Yeah.
So, again, we're looking to continue it, but I'd like just to point out some things and leave it for the commission to discuss, and quite honestly, I think the applicant would like to discuss it with staff.
Yep,
Between now and the next meeting.
yeah.
Maybe even the town attorney can weigh in on the application, but
Mhm.
when you take a look at all these different buildings, they have different roof heights, just to vary up a cluster of buildings.
Yeah,
And when you calculate the grades, there's some buildings that are over 30 feet. And you take the average grade around the building and
Yeah.
the typical roof elevation. So looking at the building, I included some pictures here. The proposed building on the right, Tollgate at Brookfield, looks like your standard townhome that's built all over the place, in particular right next door to Oak Meadows. Now, we know Oak Meadows is under a different regulation,
Mhm.
that's understood. But it seemed to me that, in the applicant, that in the multifamily regulation, they reference section 6.11 for architectural guidelines. And we thought there was some flexibility in that language to allow some architectural aesthetics for building size
and height,
roof styles, and, because, the alternative is just do a much flatter roof,
yeah.
which in my opinion, I think would be not aesthetically pleasing.
needs oil.
So, I think the worst case scenario for one of the buildings would be 36.26 feet. Just in comparison, some of the buildings over at Oak Meadows are 38.64. But it seems to me that there is some flexibility with that language, but I think we would like to just talk, if the commission has any idea about that language,
Yeah,
I'd be more than happy to hear about what their opinion is.
okay,
But, because I was around, I think you were around in 2018, when they rewrote the regulations.
Yep.
And actually, in the park regulation, the 55 and over community, it used to be 36 feet, but then it went down to 30.
yeah,
But they included the same language in that as they did in the multifamily.
yeah.
So my question is, why'd they include that language in there if it wasn't meant to provide some flexibility?
When was that, Steve, the 2018 revisions, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a rewrite. So,
Right.
I mean, a strict reading of 611C, this is where you're referencing the applicability. is for non-residential or mixed use. The mixed use, of course, is partially residential. But you have a fully residential area, so I would say, you know, that, first of all, this wouldn't apply to what you're doing. Even though you're in the C2, it's a residential, mixed use, or, multifamily home.
Yeah, if I understand what you're saying, no.
Yep. And so we'll send it off to the town attorney to see what he says, if there is any wiggle room. When I looked at it, I did like the fact that you have a differing styles of all the homes, because that was
Yeah.
nicer than something uniform.
Right.
You know, I
So, yeah,
like what
within
you,
a cluster, you're gonna have, like, the two end units will be one style, and
Yeah.
the interiors will be a different style, so you're
Yeah.
gonna have a different
Mhm.
height,
Yeah.
if you will. Versus like one cluster would be all the same.
And some of what this is like, you know, they don't want some crazy height differential. But they also don't want you to go above the 30-foot thing, so that's, if, normally I would say, well, you'd have to get a variance for those
Right,
few
right.
things. But I understand where you're seeing, you know, is there wiggle room, is there a may in here somewhere? And, and does this knock you out of, you know, out of contention if it says non-residential or mixed use?
Right.
So there's that aspect of it.
If I could just say,
Sure.
when you're talking with everyone in the town attorney,
Mhm.
it seems to me that if you look at the multifamily regulation
Yeah,
in
3
three,
foot.
maximum building height,
Yeah,
which multifamily is all residential, it's not mixed use.
yeah,
They say, excluded from the building height calculations, any space resulting from design seeking to achieve the goals and objectives of section 6.11. So there could be a little zoning discrepancy there, which
Yeah.
obviously that
Yeah.
happens in every town.
right.
But it seems to me that.
Well
the
found,
credit-
sir.
The predecessors wanted some flexibility back then.
Yeah.
In 2018, because they put the same thing in the park regulation.
Yeah, and TCD too. I mean, the idea was if you do some ornamental thing on top of a building like a spire or something, that
Yeah,
shouldn't
cupola or
punish
something,
you
yeah.
for the height.
Right.
It's just to make it look nice.
Right.
All right, yeah,
So, again,
that's my concern.
Yeah.
Gwen had her hand up.
Hmm?
Gwen had her hand up.
Oh, Glenn, yes.
Thank you, if I might. Did we review this before?
There's an approved, this is already an approved
But-
project. He's coming back for
Okay.
changes.
This isn't the 78 unit one?
Yes, this is.
Okay. So it's on how many acres?
It's close to 20 acres.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you met
So-
all the regs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It just was a lot. And it seemed close to the road.
Yeah, we're quite a ways off. The first set of units is probably over 100 feet off the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of verdure in front? A
In
lot
front
of
will be
trees
It'll be
and,
vegetated. It's gonna be, new vegetation.
okay, so small.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a mixture of.
So we're gonna see a lot of units from the road.
Well, to begin with, until that fills in. You're gonna see the first row, which is, 7 units from the road. That's what you're gonna see. You can see it there. Those first 7 units.
You won't see them behind it? You won't see the ones behind it?
Well,
I mean, it's gonna come up, right?
I
Yeah,
don't think the rise is that much back there, the next row up from Federal Road. I
And
think
where's
that
the,
that first row is gonna be what you're gonna see.
and where's the tallest one? In the back, in the front?
I'd say this building right here,
Okay.
The one farthest from the road?
that one right there, yep. That one, and then one at the end of the cul-de-sac,
Oh, nice.
which is behind the roofing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And behind that, that's all undisturbed land you're gonna leave.
Behind, yeah, that's
Yeah.
all wooded. And so, like I said, we'll continue it.
Yep.
We welcome any comments from the commission about that regulation, and the applicant wants to
Sure.
meet with the staff, and maybe if the town attorney can weigh in a little bit.
Want to hear what Tom has to say?
Yeah. Anybody else have, from the commission, have any questions about,
The different buildings, as far as the different units, for all intents and purposes, the 4 buildings are gonna be, or the 4 units are gonna be connected, so it's gonna be like a row house, a block of 4.
Yes.
But they could be individual facades, as far as different styles?
I think the facades, the materials are gonna be the same. I just think the roof heights are gonna be different.
Okay. All right.
And that's what you show on some of these
Yeah,
architectural.
I was looking at the pictures.
Those are
and-
just individual, like the individual units that,
Right,
but then you put them together.
right.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this one in particular, and that's, I was trying to figure out where this one was.
Those look like they're the ones in the, towards the front, the eastern portion of the site, which, building height wise, those are pretty good, those areas there. It's more, where Fran pointed before.
Okay, that's fine.
To Gwen's point, is it possible to get a architectural view from the road, like,
Yeah.
you know, seeing these 7 from the road? What would it look like to the passerby?
Okay.
And, excuse me, what's the height difference in the back? Not the building, but,
Oh, how much fill, I think
grade.
about 6 feet taller, 6 feet was the
oh,
grade. the raised height.
okay, all right. But yes, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, because then, you know, as you're driving by, that's what you want to see. They
It
did
seems
that.
that we saw that in the first,
They did it for
Presentation.
the ones behind Del Primo. We wanted to see what those affordable housing units were gonna look like from the road. And so they did a view from the south and from the north.
oh, I haven't
Looking
seen
over
that.
it.
We didn't do that. That wasn't us.
Oh, you
That was
weren't on the
before us.
commission at the
Yeah,
time?
that was
Oh,
I was gonna say, I didn't see it.
No, we
oh,
would've-
no, we didn't
I
see it.
know, I didn't see it.
We would've definitely shot
Haven't
that
seen
down.
too much.
Definitely.
All right, any other questions from the commission? All right,
All right, so we'll be in touch with staff and, like I
All right.
said, Tom Beach. he's
Yeah,
still-
Tom Beach,
yeah,
he'll be
yeah.
going in.
okay.
Oh. Today?
Will the staff reach out to town attorney and maybe set up a,
Will the
Yeah,
staff reach out to
Yeah,
set up
yeah.
a discussion, or?
Yeah.
Okay, because we can,
so we know what you want to do, and to see if there is, does the regulation allow that in whatever sense?
right.
Or did you have to go?
And just a side note, I was looking at other area regulations, and for this type of housing, it's more like Danbury, Milford, Bethel, they're 35 feet.
Mhm.
To me, 30 feet is a little short, but again, that's just my.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
This is Brookfield.
No,
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, for a standalone house, 30 feet is probably easy to do, but when you're stacking the garage underneath the floor.
The tuck unders, they call them, or
Yeah,
drive
the
unders.
one
right?
unders, yeah.
Yeah, where looks like 3 stories in the front, but it's 2 stories in the back. Some of these are 3 stories all around,
Yeah,
but, like I said, we'll come back and between now and then, we'll talk with the staff.
okay. Thank you, Steve.
All right, thanks.
thank you.
All right, I'll accept the motion to continue the public hearing to our next meeting, which is March, is that our next meeting, March 14th? All right.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing for
Oh, no,
500,
not public, we're the site.
Oh.
Site plan
Sorry.
modification.
site plan modification, for 500 Federal Road, Z24, -7, with the, site modifications that are required for the next meeting, March 14th, 2024.
Thank you, Tony. Second?
Second?
Thank you, Gwen. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries with unanimously. Thank you. All right, now it's 9A, draft regulation cannabis sales. In your packet, not in your packet, on your extra items on your desk there, I did hear back from the town attorney. I had sent off to them. And in that little package in front of you, Attorney Beecher had a red line copy and a clean copy of the changes he had made. And a lot of it was to try to make sure that the verbiage matched the state regulations, so there would be, you know, instead of marijuana, use cannabis. So there's no question as to what we're doing here, and it doesn't have any problem with the state regs. He added about a production facility, and here's draft 4. He didn't put it in his red line or his clean copy, so he mentioned it, and so I did add it to the draft 4. So it's all his clean copy plus that one extra definition. Production facility, a facility which is a place of business for the following: cannabis producer, cultivator, microcultivator, and food and beverage manufacturer. And then he talked about we have the distance regulations. So I didn't change anything there. I think that's something that during the public hearing, we could discuss whether we want a separate distance regulation for just cannabis stuff versus the way it's written right now. It's any adult use have to stay away from any other adult use by 500 feet. And so maybe there's, an adult use like a liquor store, you don't want it to be, you don't care about being 500 feet or some other thing. So maybe we have to think about, do we have one for cannabis separate from one that exists already for all the other adult uses? So that's something we can change during the public hearing based on feedback and what we hear from the public and everything. And so.
He also mentioned something about churches.
Well,
Distance from churches.
yeah, he's like, in regards to that distance thing, he's like, there's churches going in, for example,
Right.
Perhaps up the street. And as you start putting some other idea, like churches or daycares or schools in, then the area that you can actually have a cannabis starts shrinking.
Right.
And I suppose that the state wouldn't want you to make it impossible. They don't like things like that. They don't want you to make regs where, oh yeah, we allow it, but good luck finding a place to put it.
Right.
So that's the reason why he made mention of that, and that's what we can discuss. Are we too onerous with what we have now, or is it just fine? Because we know there is one interested party thinks they have found a place, and that's certainly 500 feet away, just based on our spitballing of what the regs could be. So I don't think so right now. I think
Right.
there's plenty of room.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there are, the challenges, depending on what the reg that we choose, there
Yeah.
are daycares on the backside of that property,
Yeah,
which.
or right up the street.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, just, they border the ShopRite parking lot.
yes.
Which, that, like I said, so that becomes the potential anomaly for them,
Yes.
because of the location that they've already
Yeah.
chosen.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think Mr. Beecher pointed out, and I think that we might want to think about it, there's talk about cultivation.
Mm-hmm.
The facilities that we were talking about are product coming in to the facilities, not actually growing.
Oh, one of the uses was production too. So because when you write a reg, you can't add anything. When you have an application, you can't add anything unless it's more restrictive.
Mhm.
After you've submitted the application and you have a public hearing, but you can subtract.
Okay.
So we can put everything in under the sun. It doesn't mean that's what we're doing.
Okay.
It just means that it gives us the opportunity to take things out.
Okay.
And because if we don't put it in now, there's no
Well, there's no
chance
going
of,
back. All right,
there's no
that's fine.
going back in
Yeah.
unless we had another public hearing. So, yes, so it seems like, hey, everything under the sun's here. Yeah, that's true. Now, the goal is, well, what don't we want?
Right.
What does the public not want when we hear from the public and everything else? And to that end, I like it, hopefully advertised in the Brookfield Spotlight, is that what it's called? So that the public actually knows what's happening. So in lieu of a referendum, that this is the next best thing, but we want people to come here and we want to find out, what do they
Right.
want, So that's the goal. So does anybody else, what do they think, as far as the language goes? It seems like aside from those other areas that Tom had mentioned, most of it was just changing words to make it more acceptable.
You're not dealing with a runaway animal in terms of that, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, the next thing we would do is take what I created, draft 4, if we think that looks good enough, to actually submit it as an application by the zoning commission. So draft 4 is draft 3, which is the clean copy draft 3 that Tom has created. And I only added the definition for production facility. So it's best to have definitions in there. Because absent that, then it goes back to, you know, the dictionaries and stuff.
Well, no, it is important, especially when you're dealing with references to Connecticut general statutes, because anytime it's defined in there, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But the Connecticut Supreme Court has also said that when the statutes don't define a term, they take on their plain meaning.
Yeah.
And then plain meaning it might have different meanings across municipalities,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
one of the things to keep in mind.
yep,
There's a Ridgefield case that actually said that, so.
okay.
But thankfully, most of these terms have been defined in statute.
Yeah. Does anybody have any issue with, you know, putting an application in by the zoning commission? Actually, I don't think we need a motion to actually submit
Is
an
there,
application, do we?
excuse me,
Yeah.
is there a limited number of dispensaries in Brookfield?
Well, I put that is one of the changes I put in that he looked over. Is that here?
I know we
Oh, yes,
discussed,
on the-
yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna say, I know we
So-
discussed it.
Tony,
In
did-
44M cannabis establishments, at the very bottom.
Where
I
are
put
you?
the last page.
Oh.
Actually, it's the bottom of the last page.
Isn't Danbury limited to 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I put in here, the maximum number of cannabis retailers is 1. The maximum number of medical marijuana dispensaries is 1. So we start with that. and,
Oh, I
you know,
see.
It's not like you're gonna have a parade of people coming.
Right,
To open dispensary.
I know. We gotta start somewhere. So if we have
I
the
agree with
language in
one.
there, we can always add, you know, if we say, oh my God, we do need to.
I'm good with 1.
Yeah, I agree with one.
Yeah.
So could they would come and ask for like an extension? I mean, I'm wondering if
Yes, yeah,
back
they
to
come
the
back for,
areas to our code.
another, a reg change,
Okay.
and then we go through this process, but it's much easier when it's not a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I got you. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That'll work.
All right, well, we'll make a motion anyway.
Well, I'm sorry, what about production facility?
We could put that in there.
No, I just wondered.
Oh, I didn't put a limit. You know, that's not a bad idea, but, my thought on that is you never see the production facility. You know, there's no,
I mean, would there
there's
be
no
5?
retail.
Could there be 10? Could
Like
there
greenhouses
Yeah.
and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Right,
greenhouse.
well, yeah,
be 20?
No, it's money coming in. So it's you know,
Is that what you're referring
we're
to, Glenn?
producing something instead of building some apartment building.
Yeah, there's no people coming in or anything.
Yeah.
It's like another industrial
Everybody
building,
will just be
but,
stone instead of a place to live. It'll be in the street stone,
Sorry, you just in the street.
like in New York.
so production facility, I mean, if we, you know, we could put it in, because we can always take it out. Put it in now.
I hate to
Yeah, I
limit-
mean, just because you're putting in the application now doesn't mean that the text is set in
Exactly.
granite or anything like
Yeah.
that. So,
And then if we decide, and the public decides as a commission, you know what, maybe we don't need that.
We can pull,
As we discuss it.
Correct.
Then we can just pull it out. I don't think.
you have to start the discussion at some point, though.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah,
Right.
yep,
and the production is not the dispensary.
No.
That's the critical piece. That's why I don't think any of, well, I don't know.
Production sounds like to me greenhouses.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it
Well,
is.
it's not just greenhouses, so.
Well,
you
it
have to
says producer, cultivator,
Well, correct, the production facility would be the cannabis plants, edibles, oils, anything that would take the THC or the cannabis component to be sold at the store. And that's the true essence of the production. It could be just a farm, somebody that's got, you know, hydroponics or, you know, an acre of pot plants sitting out there. But again, I don't think we have limited, or, again, production is production of said products.
I think that as we go through this application process, we're gonna have questions, and I think the public's gonna have questions too.
Yeah.
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 Agreed.
And so we could put it in now and just say the maximum number of cannabis, production facilities is 1. And then, and then decide what to do during the public hearing. So we have enough, and then we can, either strike it out or add to it, you know, say, oh, 2 is good. People wouldn't be going there to buy anything.
They can't.
People would, yeah, they can't. People wouldn't be smoking in there. I wouldn't want my workers smoking. I want their
that's-
pot to come out right.
Right, and again, it depends on what they're producing.
Danbury limited to, but they don't have two.
They have two.
They do have two. Okay.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got Butter by us, and then they've got the Botanist at Exit 2.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if they have any production facilities
They don't.
right now. Yeah. It
None
takes
of-
a lot of money to create
Right.
a production facility.
Most of the production, if you watch Discovery, and Jim Belushi talks about it all the time, because that's his new empire. Most of the production stuff are done out west. They've got the facilities for the cannabis for smoking, but they also have a lot of the packaging for the edibles and all of the other things. Because
Medical.
all of those have to be sealed,
Medical's in a class by itself, I think.
not the medical, the edibles.
No, but I'm saying the medical, I think, is in a class by itself.
It is,
so.
and that's what I'm saying, that's another portion of it, but again, because of how that is being regulated, how it's being created, they've gotta have all of the plants and all of, you know, however it's gonna be produced, all of that's, again, the facilities that are doing that are big facilities.
Yeah, and heavy regulated,
Correct,
yeah, by the state.
correct.
Well, do you want to just cut that out then?
No, we'll leave it
No, we're
in.
gonna-
We can cut it out later,
Yeah,
if we want to, you know. If we put it in now, then we can have it in.
Do you think it should be cut out now?
Hmm?
Oh, you do, she does, she thinks it should be cut out now. What do you think, Sean?
I agree, I don't think we should have that in there right now. I don't think we need
No,
a production
max,
facility.
okay, all right.
I'm kind of indifferent to it.
I'm indifferent to it, it
me
doesn't,
too.
whether it's there or not
Yeah.
is, again, it's, I don't think per se that the production piece of this is going to be viable in our town. And I don't think it would be done in most towns. Because again, the facilities that are doing this are multi-million-dollar facilities that they're selling their products to all of the other distributors.
Yeah.
And all of the dispensaries throughout the country.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Same with, again, I don't see somebody flipping their corn crop to start growing pot, because this is gonna be a banner, because when they start doing that, then they have to figure out a way to get it, package it, and be able to give it to the distributors. So
Yeah.
that becomes the bigger problem. And again, we're talking big dollars to do all of
And
that.
there's a ton of FDA regulations.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
you gotta comply
all of
with,
that.
too.
Yeah, all the safety, yeah.
So why not just take it out?
All right,
That's what I'm saying.
so I won't put it in, let's put it that way.
It's not there anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out. So,
No, it is.
Well, you'd hate to discourage business coming to Brookfield, though, honestly.
no, this won't discourage it.
Well, if you take it out, it would.
We're not, no, we're taking out the limit.
Oh, limit, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
just the limit.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Right, it's there if you want it right now.
Right, which is fine.
We can always put it back in if we hear from the
Yeah.
public and they.
And
think
actually,
that-
we can put more restrictions.
Oh, I would,
Sure.
I thought we were taking out the production.
Oh, no, we're leaving production. We can take that out later. We have everything that's possible in the application, because you can't add things later, but you can certainly take them away. So we can, during the public hearing, get feedback from the public, get our own thoughts and discussions going, and at that point, we can start saying, you know what, I don't think this is a good idea, let's take that out, let's take that out. Hearing what the public had to say about it. So that's why everything's in right now, because gotta get it in first, so you can take it away later. So, you know, someone might be watching, it's like, oh my God, you know, Brookfield's letting so much happen, but no, we aren't,
Right.
you know. That
We wanna hear- we
We're
wanna
not
hear
the
from
ones
the
that
public.
decide, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We gotta hear from the public, yeah. All right, so, I'll accept a motion to, have this submitted as an application from the zoning commission.
I make a motion to submit the application for zoning regulation for the, am I looking for here?
Cannabis
For the
regulation.
cannabis
Yeah.
regulation, thank you.
I'll second it.
Any discussion, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, and Gwen abstained, so, 4-0-1. All right, I'll get this clean copy submitted tomorrow, and then we'll,
Make sure it gets into the spotlight, and
Yeah, I think it'd be productive if you guys worked on a press release that we really do want to get the public input.
Yes, exactly.
I really think if you could collaborate on that, and get it out, because that's why always everybody's asking,
month.
how did this happen in Brookfield? How did this get allowed? Well,
Yeah.
Right,
it's up to you.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, however, whatever marketing we can do, whether
Oh,
it's
you
something out in the hallway, the spotlight, and whatever other
Yeah,
media,
Patch?
a story, maybe yeah,
With that?
Yeah,
the patch.
Yeah, but I would say if Fran, collaborate with Kurt on a press release that we want to hear from the public.
Yeah.
And attach a copy of the reg to it, and
Yep.
I'm sure the News Times would put it on their website as well, and,
Yeah.
but I mean, the more, I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road, where zoning and planning and everything doesn't make a decision in a vacuum,
Yeah.
so.
Do we have a marketing department? No, unfortunately, we
Fran.
don't. Fran.
We can also talk with TAC and see if maybe we could do like a banner on the website too that says that we're discussing it on the front page.
Yeah.
But I would definitely send it out to the News Times, the
Oh,
Patch,
yeah.
WLAD,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The only question that I've got is, figuring this will be a hot topic, do we want to make this, the public hearing, a standalone?
That's a good idea.
Well, we don't have to decide that today or tomorrow.
No, I'm throwing it out there, and the only reason why is, again, we're looking for feedback. And if I was a betting man, there will be a lot of feedback, positive and negative.
So as a suggestion, you can also, because it's a zoning commission driven application, you are not obligated to follow the same rules as a normal regular text amendment. So I would suggest opening the public hearing and keeping it open for a little while
Right.
to allow
Yeah.
different dates for people to actually speak
And
on
at
it.
that point, Tony, we could recess it to a
A larger.
standalone evening.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's
Oh,
fine,
yeah.
and that's where I was going with it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
That way we can open
I-
it and have it set for our notification dates.
I do think we also send a copy of this, just given the way that it's evolving to the police department, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
really would like to have, hear what they have to say about
Yeah.
this, so.
Yeah, I'll send it off to everybody.
And our health director too.
And,
Well, I don't know.
community like Greg Dembowski.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, health director.
It'll go to planning and everybody.
Planning.
Fire. Yeah, so, whenever we do a text amendment or a zone change, we have to send it out to planning for a referral to see what they say, to see if it meets our POCD, Plan of Conservation Development. We also have to send it to our Western Connecticut Council of Government, and so each of them have 30 days to get back to us, to give us, yay or nay, or nothing, we don't care sort of thing. And then we can open the public hearing for that, so we get their feedback on it.
And other towns too.
And other towns.
Municipalities.
Yeah,
So,
nearby, like Newtown and Bethel and in our little region here, Danbury. All right, well, thank you. Revision of zoning fee schedule 9B?
I still have nothing for that. I left off
Okay.
with giving it to you last time on the suggested amendments. I don't know if it's something you want to jump into tonight or wait until you get cannabis under your belt. My only concern on this, for timeline purposes, is the group home
Yeah,
modifications, just because to be compliant. Even that though, we still have several months.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's not a huge deal, but I did want to suggest these changes. This is 100% up to the zoning commission, on whether or not you want to go with any of the suggested changes. But I would definitely suggest looking at the group home changes that
Okay.
have any edits.
How long before the commission approves a fee change does it have to take effect?
For saying effective dates, I
Yes.
normally like to say it after the appeal date.
Okay.
oh, all right, that makes sense.
Want to put it on as an agenda item for the 14th? I mean,
For cannabis?
no, for.
Oh, for that? Yeah, that's
Well, why
fine.
don't we? I mean,
I could
Do you
just,
want to go over them, or do you want to meet up, or?
yeah, I'll meet up. You know what I can do is, like I did with these, like draft the language here, a lot of this is housekeeping to make us compliant with state regs that change all the time. There's a couple other things about 5G that is good for us to take control of our own thing. And there was some stormwater ones that our land use director from about 5 years ago had mentioned, again, had to be compliant with state regs. So these changes are probably should be put in. So all sort of housekeeping things, except for the 5G. So whatever, so I can write up a draft, since I don't have to, so there's no longer gonna be a draft. I have time to write up the other draft, and just kind of take what you had in there, so it's nice and easy when we discuss it. It's in one document, rather than spread across, a few of mine, a few of Laura's documents. So we can, discuss that on the 14th? Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
So you got that, and you got, hopefully town attorney on the 14th, so,
okay.
exec session.
All right. Formal discussion, comments by any of the commissioners? Anybody have anything they want to discuss or bring up? Gwen?
If nobody has anything, I just have a little plug to make.
Sure.
If you're going into New York City and you want to see a Broadway show, please go see Water for Elephants.
Oh, that's a good book.
It is.
It was a good movie, too.
It's a great musical, and it's at the Imperial Theater,
Okay.
and it begins Saturday.
And how long does it run? For now?
Well, we hope forever.
Yeah.
Please, God.
All right, thanks, Gwen.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else? No? Well, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All right, thanks, Sean. A second?
Second it, or Gwen can second it.
Gwen will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? All right.